Get into the conversation this morning where we are talking about several issues that need to be discussed, and this is about political turntables. The State House altar. It is a question that we are asking, and to have this conversation with us is Canon, who is MP Elders. Karibu sana.
Good morning, viewers.
As well as Canon Weda, who is an advocate and a political analyst as well. Karibu sana.
Good morning.
Yeah, so gentlemen, welcome to Kenya's biggest conversation. You are on the hot seat. But before that, we proceed to a country called Djibouti. Every week we go to a different African country, and from that country we come with proverbs. So a few things about Djibouti. They're just from an election. They elected the president for the 6th term. It is a country that relies mostly on its port, and that port helps in feeding into Ethiopia, which is a landlocked country. It is also famous for having the US base in the country, and there has been conversations around the US having that base there and what that does to the security of the region. But the proverb that we get this morning from the people of Djibouti goes like this: people are bones and blood, but diversity is beauty. People are bones and blood, but diversity is beauty. Canon, how would you interpret it?
As a canon, I would then quickly say people are spirits and whatever. But I think is saying that generally we are physical people, but the beauty in this is how our differences, whoever we are, different Luos, Somalis, Kisses, Africans, Wazungus, it is all of that combined that makes us good, that makes us complement one another, that makes us exist. We hold one another. Yes, so viewed as human beings, we're just bones and whatever. Yeah. But what goes down to the root of our existence is now our diversity. We are now doing the radio. I am talking. Somebody's farming. Somebody's driving. Somebody's holding security. All those put together brings out the beauty.
Mheshimiwa, how you interpret it?
I think we need to look at this in the historical context. Djibouti is a former French colony.
Yes.
And is one of also the 5 former Somali nation states.
Yes, they actually speak Somali.
Not really. You know, during the colonial time, after the scramble for Africa, we used to have British Somaliland, Italian Somaliland, French Somaliland, Region 5 of Ethiopia, and Northern Kenya. So in that context, what I think, and this must be in reference to that, you know, Djibouti right now is a melting point of many cultures. There's a lot of influence from the Ethiopian culture. There's a lot of influence from French. Djibouti is largely a Somali-speaking nation. And right now, because of the port, we have the Chinese, we have the Arabs, we have the Americans, I'm told we have the French.
Yeah.
So it's because of that they're saying bones and blood, diversity is beauty. So if you look at it in that historical context, that diversity, it's what right now is making the nation state of Djibouti. And they have really, really capitalized on that. So from that historical perspective, from the current emerging issues, then I think that diversity is what they are attributing to the beauty that they have. That's my interpretation.
And well interpreted, because then one would say it is all these different facets brought together that would say makes Djibouti what it is, makes Kenya what it is, and pretty much makes the world what it is. We are rich in our diversity, and that's what makes us supreme. So let's talk about the conversation this morning, the political turntables, and where we find ourselves as a country. Many would say that during the campaign periods, we get promises. You know, promises, we will do this, we will do that. We would ensure that Mimi Sitasumbua, my deputy, you know, we get into power and we see a deputy and the president not doing well. We have promises given to Kenyans as well. And Kenyans are saying, we were given promises, but nothing much is being done, or little is being done. We look at where State House is a body that many would say is supposed to bring the country together. Many today are saying, kidogo, it is not doing that. Based off that, I start with you, Mheshimiwa. What goes wrong that the political class seem to be speaking a different language once they get to power?
That's a very important question. Again, we need to go back to the making of the nation state of the Republic of Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain historical facts that people don't accept.
Mm-hmm.
The historical fact is, after the scramble for Africa, the making of the nation state of the Republic of Kenya, actually, there's something I call, a new phenomenon that I call biological nationalism.
Mm-hmm.
It's a collection of communities. Before we got our independence, look at the history. First step, Kenya was owned by a British, basically commercial company, the British East African Company. And then later on, we became a protectorate, we became a colony, we became internally, ruling country, and then later on we got our independence. All this brought together different, brought about the different facets of the Republic of Kenya. One is tribal, the other one is regional, the other one is the groups that I call the Petit bourgeoisie, a class, the sons and daughters of the colonial chiefs, because you remember the British also applied indirect rule.
Yes.
Now all these created different interests. These different interests are competing, are clashing, all of them camouflaged as, under this broad framework called democracy. So we look at, we have region called the Western, call it the Western, former Western
From
province.
Western Province, yeah.
Call it the former Nyanza province, Northern Kenya province. All this, if you look at it critically, all the regions were based on tribal or community interest. And that's what some of the things that we have, broadly speaking, cautioned as and put them as part of our governance platform. So individuals will come, project themselves using democratic platforms, but deep inside them, what lingers is the tribal interest, the regional interest. That is why we are still lacking, we are still struggling to have a defined, one acceptable Kenyan culture. We are still struggling, and look at it critically. And that is why, since the advent of multipartyism, there are no two general elections with similar characteristics. 1991, 1992 is different from 1997. 1997 is completely different from 2002.
But Mheshimiwa, let me bring in Canon, right?
Yes.
I hear you when you say that we have all these competing interests from different regions, right? But on a regular day, politics aside,
Yes.
Kenyans do not see each other in that light. I do not see Kikuyu. Or we live together peacefully. It only comes up whenever there is politics being played. Is when people then remember I come from Nyanza, I come from Eastern, I come from what region, and that is when competition then comes up. Really, is this then being perpetrated by the political class? But on a normal day, Kenyans really are just living peacefully with each other.
Thank you so much. Thank you. My brother, I think personally I would say that there's nothing wrong with the diversity. Diversity is spiritual, it's divine. It's the creator of all things that created us diverse. And they wanted us to spread and mix up.
Yeah.
That's why in the Bible we have the story of the Tower of Babel. They wanted to gather around and be together. God said, no, you have to go out and mix and match. And things which are mixed up and matched are always better. You can see you are dark, you are brown. It looks wow. So there's nothing wrong with that. And in Kenya, we are as diverse, as good, as beautiful. And when you want to see that, see us when we are doing things beautiful.
Yes.
See us when we are running. When we run,
No one comes
it doesn't
close
matter
to
whether
us.
this is Kisi, this is Kalenjin, this is Kikuyu.
Yeah.
When we're in school and competing and doing exams, we are beautiful. We do it. Then, when you do politics, we also do it good. The only thing is that due to mental conditioning, good people have walked away from vital things and allowed bad people to thrive in vital things. What do I mean? I am saying that when it comes to politics, we don't say now we want one of the best economists also to run. We don't say we want one of the best teachers to run. We are saying politics is dirty, let us leave it out. So when we leave it to my elder brother, Aden, he goes there and he says, how do I survive here? What do I do? Like a lawyer when you go to court or you are in church preaching the good news of the kingdom, you choose your words. You choose the idioms. You choose the examples that will make people understand and listen and hear you. So the politicians check, what do these people want to hear? The Kenyan nation, people vote number one based on tribes. That's what we have seen in the multi-party. Moi used to say it. So first of all, we say, where is our tribe voting? Number two, we vote on parties. Mimi ni ODM, damu, damu, damu. Mimi DCP, damu, damu. Mimi Jubilee, damu, damu, damu. It is only in politics where we hear damu, damu, damu. You don't even call your blood brother or blood sister damu, damu, damu. But when it comes to politics, damu, damu, damu. So these people come and say, what do they want to hear? Let us give them the familiar script, the familiar music. So you tell them, sisi watu wa mulima, ama sisi watu wa lake. This time. Then eventually what happens? People vote not based on what they desire to see, what they want, but they base on emotions. So what do? You promise them. Number one, Moi must go. Number two, yote yawezekana bila Moi. Number three, change is coming. Moi na watu yako wanaenda. That's the theme. We are not saying, look, for me, there's this now number of kilometers of roads. This is the change in education. This is how. When you say that, you get bored. This is boring us. Tell us, Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Then we hear. When you say, which roads? So when people have been elected, not based on what you desired, but based on your emotions, then they play games. And those games are to keep you the ping pong. Today, the man who actually strongly talked for President Ruto was his deputy, the Rigiji. Now, the Rigiji is out. You can hear what he's saying. And he's marshalling his bag of Wanjiku. If you have your bag of Wanjiku, you have a voice. Yeah. So he's marshalling. How do you marshal them? Tell them your biggest problem, the only problem you have in this country, the only one. You finish and it is over. It's called William Samuel Ruto. Now, that same thing is what we are told. The only problem, the biggest, the one we had was Moi. Once Moi is gone, we are fine. After that, the biggest problem we had was Kibaki. After it's gone, we are fine. Then we came and said, in fact, Uhuru is the worst we have had. The moment Uhuru leaves, we are fine. So let us appreciate that until as a nation, as a people, we will decide this time we want you to tell us according to where we want to go. Then we'll elect you on that basis. You look at America. When the economy is faltering, they don't care whether you're black or Muindi. They come and tell you, this one will make our livelihood. This one is a problem. So I dare say our diversity is very good. This question of State House being used for this and that, please let's be very sincere and honest. State House, the nyumba ya mtu. Please let's separate these things. The seat of power in the Republic of Kenya is called Harambee House. Office. But because we are not very well structured, nyumba ya president, mahali nitakana nakaa, napikia watu chakula, nafanyia nini, because of space and jam, work has been shifted to that place. And since that place is nyumba ya president, ukienda huko, you have to eat something. He will call his visitors. Who are his visitors? Number one, employers, directors, MDs, and who are these directors? The simple mwananchi. He knows that these are my employers. So when he calls them, he'll call them occasionally to discuss matters of state. Which state? How he became president. That's what he calls them to discuss. Nyinyi sasa hii vile kazi mlinipatia, tumefanya hivi na tunaendelea kufanya hivi. So you expect yourself to go there. You will not go. Because you are not the employer. So I think let's celebrate our diversity and let's not blame it for the wrong decisions, the emotional decisions we make.
Okay, it begs the question, if the church is compromised when they go to State House. You know what they say at Canon, he who pays the piper controls the tune. So when we're in a country where there's so much emphasis on the church not being used as a political platform, well, what do you make of various groups going to State House and perhaps getting a brief from the president? But at the back of it, we have opposition leaders who say, wamepeleka tumbo yao uko State House. They're not speaking for us. Is it okay from where you sit for church leaders, various groups to be hosted at State House? And does it compromise their stand?
I think there's something that my good friend here has alluded to. There are people who are of the view that anything that does not originate from them is not workable in Kenya.
Yes.
So everything good or bad must start from them. That narrative is what we must refuse. Because it brings in the culture of bullyism. It also brings in the issue of dominance, both mentally, psychologically, even politically. There's nothing wrong. We need to understand the presidency. I used to have a friend called the late Kaiseri. He used to say, where the current State House is, used to be the house, the kraal of his, the fifth or sixth wife of his great-grandfather.
Yes.
But look at the kind of transformation and the changes that second, because the Kenya of then or even the facilities that were used by that mama and the great-grandfather then and what you have are completely different. But then let's call spade a spade. This is not the first president. Ruto is the fifth president of the Republic of Kenya.
Yes.
We have had Mzee Kenyatta, we have had Mzee Moi, we have had Kibaki, we have had Uhuru Kenyatta, and now William Ruto. The flag is still the same. The political umbrella is still the same, but the occupants are different. And the three come from one region, and two come from another region. If you look at the chemistry, and you know the age difference, you know the times, completely different times. I think to be fair, State House approaches, State House use largely has remained the same. Of course, there are some few changes. I know Kibaki as an old man, there are certain norms that he said this must be seen in the State House. Uhuru as a young president, again later, so this must be seen as Uhuru has, they have their own tests. We can't take away that. If Ruto, for whatever reason, decides to meet the church people, the other things are speculation. We have only seen a meeting between the president and a congregation of religious people. These other things just exist in the mindsets of those who are trying to propagate. We are here today in SpiceFM. Other than the news here, somebody can say, we have gone there to do this, we have gone there to go and interact with this, we have gone... That's a fallacy. So I think, and I'm aware, you have been around, we know the politics that's been played. What people have done right now is to create a narrative that anything the president touches on is not in the interest of particular groups. The president is the president of the Republic of Kenya. The presidency is a unified institution. When the time for ballot comes, decide what you want to do. But for now, we have one president. We have one CEO called William Ruto. So people are mixing. And you can say, on one hand, you want to say, Mr. President. On the other hand, you want to say, the president shall not function. Shall not function what? The presidency functions in accordance with the Constitution. And the Constitution is very clear on the role of the president, the role of the public. But I think let's look at this. If you look at the narrative being promoted by, again, certain players like Rigji, what he used to say 3 years ago or 4 years ago and what he's trying to say, if you put them on a scale, you'll realize that you will wonder, is it the same person? What has changed? What has changed is the interest. The interest. And that is the biggest problem we are facing right now. Ideologically speaking, my friend, look at where we were. Look at the missed opportunities. We are right now a struggling nation. This is not where we are supposed to be, simply because of tribal politics, simply because of hate-driven politics. I want to ask Kenyans, first and foremost, our number one interest is peace and stability, because that is what can bring all of us together. Countries have played with this. They have taken things for granted. Look at what has happened in Somalia. Sudan used to be Khartoum used to be one of the most beautiful cities. It was my second home. Look at Khartoum of today. Look at the region, the entire region. Start from the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia here, Eritrea here, Djibouti here, Sudan here, Southern Sudan here, DRC, look at the whole region. Kenya has largely remained an island of peace because of two reasons: God, secondly, because of the resilience of the middle class and the Kenyan public. I think we will not allow individuals to push us to fight, individuals to push us to quarrel every day. Let's respect the presidency. Let's respect the president. When the time comes, you will have the right to exercise your democratic right to vote whoever is your candidate. For now, if today I go and see the president, take a photo with him, somebody will say, this guy has gone there for other considerations. If today you go, I'm sure the next day people will demand, this guy has now been compromised. He should not even be in the media. That is the culture. It's a culture of intimidation.
But you see, even where we find ourselves today, the reason why one would argue that you've been seen with the president, you are there for your own selfish goals, is because the political class has not brought an environment where Wananchi can trust you, Mheshimiwa. You say one thing during the campaign, you implement a different thing. The trust that Kenyans have placed on Wananchi, or the Kenyans have placed on the political class, is eroded to a point where a politician would say one thing and immediately a Kenyan would say, hii tunajua ni mchezo ya town. Nothing much will happen. It is the very same political class that has said, has told Wananchi. I know, Ambrose, you want to respond to that. That
he's a quasi politician.
That we would end corruption. You look at corruption, the level of corruption in the country today. You say we will end extrajudicial killing. Extrajudicial killing is the order of the day whenever there is police. One asks the question: has the political class let down Kenyans based off promises given and what has been delivered, or is everyone in this atmosphere to blame?
This thing of some very innocent class Kenyans and then political class. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
these people love these people and they elect them. And if you want to know the difference, run. Wewe usimame with those clear, beautiful ideas you're talking about, and they reject you, and they have rejected people. Please, let's get this thing.
Yes.
There's always the hotel talk when you are sipping coffee and enjoying yourself and criticizing others. These politicians. Let me tell you, the ones who talk like that, if they're just told, President Ruto would like to see you, even you, now, you'll abandon this studio. Now he says he's waiting for you in 30 minutes. You'll abandon. Yeah. Please, let us separate the things that gives us good conversation as we enjoy ourselves and our interests. Politicians, I said, are us. They are dance here. We love them. This one has been elected again and again and again. And immediately they vote for him. Immediately they finish voting and they walk out. They say, we don't want that guy. That guy, this is the last time. I end there. And when it turns again, they vote. Same people. Don't trust them. In Ukristo, they sang for Jesus. Hosanna Jew. They are the same people who said, crucify this one. The day Jesus Christ cooked ugali and some samaki, they were there enjoying it. The next day, they followed him. When he didn't cook, even Jesus said, you are following me because of the food. So what we are simply saying is that even the people themselves, when politicians talk to them, they enjoy what they are being told. And in most cases, they know their lies. They are lies. When an MCA tells you he's going to arrange how a road is going to be tarmacked, and you know how the building of roads in this country is structured, you know the budget of the county. Educated somebody like you understands that this one is just good talk. It's the same. You are young people. When you talk to girls, I'm sure you don't tell them that if you become my friend, you pay for your coffee. If we meet, you just pay for your coffee, pay for your Uber, you all this and that. We just meet. No, you tell them, no, I'll settle that. Accept that. We'll live in Kileleshwa, in Karen, wherever. Then when you get married, you say, to Kwapa Dandora, God is with us. So please, this is part of humanity. It's part of salting the word. What we would like to see is that as a country, we want a situation where the talks end, and then we enter into an area where we do certain specific things that push our country towards where it should be. So that the jokes that we get at the political level end somewhere, and then we work. There's a window for working. Then when we finish that window, then we can go back to the jokes, because you can't hunt for votes by saying, mimi naenda kuongea kwa bunge, hiyo ndio kazi yangu. They say, yeah, you're going to ongea kwa bunge, lakini leo fair tulikuja hapa kwa ajili ya wewe na nimekungojea. We have been here. So please arrange something. So you are talking about corruption. Yes, it's like a talk. But when you send in broke people, somebody goes in, ana at a motorbike, and you look at him and you say, this one is a member of parliament. Ata gari ana. Unasema Rudy. He goes there. The first thing he looks for is a vehicle. How does he look for it? In the economy. So there are things that we minimize. In America, they have what is called lobbying acts. Yep. You are paid for lobbying. Yeah. There's what do you call commission? You are allowed to charge commission. Here we are still holier than thou, pretending that all is clear. So we say corruption. But if 10 people qualify for something, a tender, they are all qualified. There must be one who gets it. True. Now in America, a lobbyist will help you get it, then you pay him. In Kenya, we pretend there's nothing. So you go around and say, Mheshimiwa, sisi watu wa Somali, hatujapewa hii tenda hata moja. This time ni wakati wa Somali. President anaangalia vile kura iliingia, anasema, why? So we have to build the country to a level. Then we go back to the language that the people understand so that they re-elect you. You said something about the church. Is the church compromised? The church, the head of the church is Jesus Christ, creator of all things, owner of all things. Yote. Nothing was created without him. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was... That is what your Bible says. So you can't compromise the church. But the church is a big bus, like Mo used to say, imejaza watu. Ni human beings. People are still frail. Fallible. We are all fallible. We have our weaknesses here and there. But we are in Christ, cleansed by his blood. In it, therefore, there are some people who are very good. There are some people who are also in the process of being saved. They do things. You see them doing miracles. Pandambego igine. The seed time and harvest is a divine law. Yep. But some people misuse it. They say, that seed you must plant in my pocket. That's the wrong part. Planting a seed is a divine law. Yeah. But planting it in Weda's pocket is the distortion. Church leaders going to see the president at his invitation is a honor. There's nothing wrong. And it requires that you have an opportunity to access your leadership where you are able to tell him on the table, Your Excellency, these insults must come to an end. You are our bastion. We will insult you. We will kick you around. But you are the leader. Stay on top there. You can only say that on the table. There are things which are whispered. Then there are others who also go there just to be given a little handout. Well, I know as a head of state, even me, if I was the president, born again, Canon, if you come to my home even today, my younger brother, I will escort you out with a kilo of sugar. It's normal. It's standard. When we go to State House, okay, if the president does not give us a cup of tea, he's a bad president because that is his house. When you go to a Rambe house, if the tea misses, you say the tea girl didn't come. We say next time, prepare for us. So we cannot put together every leadership that goes near the president as bad, as compromised. No, we say the bad ones, they will even receive the money via M-Pesa. They don't need to go there. Yeah. The money can be sent in bags to them at night. The ones who go in broad daylight and say, Your Excellency, we have come here.
Okay.
This is what we say. This is where we are. there's nothing to fault about them. But if somebody goes there and then he says, Mimi, I'm Bishop Canon Weda, but this and that allow you, just Your Excellency, to insult, then that one is not speaking for Christ.
So I think where the rubber hits the road,
Yes.
going to State House is not an issue.
Yes.
But it shouldn't stop these church leaders from calling out ills in society just because they went to
they
State
agree
House.
with you. Yes, they agree with you.
That's definitely okay.
Yes.
Canon, as we proceed with this conversation, there's usually criticism that's fronted towards Northeastern leaders in general. And we've definitely seen the impetus of development by the Kenya Kwanza administration, the Modogashe Road, just to name a few. But critics argue that some of these Northeastern leaders are shortchanging the electorate. Case in point, that conversation where governors who are elected in those regions mostly stay in Nairobi. Our Jui, what exactly is happening on the ground? Speak to the development track record, because you're a politician who has been around for quite some time. How comes the development in Northeastern seems to be lagging behind? What exactly is the issue, even as we speak about promises vis-a-vis implementation?
I think that's a good question. Let me take you back to part of the historical journey of the people of Northern Kenya. Immediately after independence, you are aware there were issues during the struggle for independence. Some of actually the British government left the Northern Kenya question hanging. I'm sure you're aware. And then there were issues related to security. And then in the process, the government then came up with a number of draconian legislation. You're aware. The District Contagious Act, the Indemnity Act, the screen, many other things. The Sessional Paper number 10 of 1965. All these statutory documents were meant actually to demean and to punish the people of Northern Kenya for being not loyal in court. So that has been institutionalized at every level of government. So meaning, and people were punished, they were denied development, they were denied access to the civil rights related issues. They were literally, every member of that community actually was considered as an alien within the mindset of those who are in government then. So what happened? They were denied development. Literally, we never had roads. The education sector was completely neglected. Security crisis actually was created, sometimes manufactured by the state, just to allow the state to do certain things. All this now contributed to a culture of hopelessness, a culture where every resident of that particular area felt that they were second-class citizen. These things were addressed later on slightly by Mzee Moi, immediately after the 1982 coup. And things have been improving. But what William Ruto has done is unprecedented. And I'll tell you this. I've served as a member of parliament under Moi. I've served as a member of parliament under Kibaki. As a member of parliament under Oburu. And right now as a member of parliament under... What President William Ruto has done is unprecedented. And I'll tell you this. We have had an educational crisis for the last 60 years. That is no more. Just by a policy change, by a policy pronouncement by the president. Immediately he came in. And it was part of his manifesto. And today, in the next 1 year, we have surplus teachers. We have so many teachers training college. In Mandera, in Wajir, we have Elders Teachers Training College, we have Tarbaj Teachers Training College, we have Mandera Teachers Training College, we have Garissa Teachers College. Meaning, therefore, that those students, eligible students who wanted to train as teachers, and now have been given an opportunity to train, and now they are qualified. They will not only serve in Northern Kenya, they will serve in other parts of the Republic of Kenya. In the past, we were used as a Piro center. They'll create vacancies, employ people, purport to post them to Northern Kenya, create a security crisis, and then take them back to their villages. That policy is no more. So educational issue, the educational crisis is no more. In terms of infrastructure, if you look at the Sessional Paper number 10 of 1965, it says development should only be limited to those areas that are considered to be productive. So that excluded the whole of Northern Kenya. That has been revised, and that document has now been rubbished. Of course, courtesy of the current constitution, which brought about devolution and other changes. But the president has made deliberate policies to say, look, development should be for every region. That's why right now you see this road, 700 and something kilometers, from Isiolo, Modogash, Habaswein, Wajir, Kutulo, Elwak, Ramo, Mandera, is now being tarmacked. It required a courageous decision, and that's what he has done. The extension of the national grid. You know, Kenya used to end in Mwingi. The national grid used to end in Mwingi. Now it has reached Garissa. Now it's moving on to Madogash. It's moving to Wajir. That's the second major development, actually, component the president has also initiated. For the first time in the history of Kenya, we'll be having our first Madaraka Day in Wajir. It's unprecedented. 1st June, the whole government will be in Wajir. I have never imagined that will happen in my lifetime. Inshallah, we'll wait to see that particular episode. Look at it generally now in terms of the public sector. Mm-hmm. The public sector used to be the preserve of 1 or 2 communities. The public sector right now is the face of all the communities of the Republic of Kenya. If you look at it, of course, it may not be 100% what we expect, but there is a gradual improvement. Now come back to the issue of leaders. You see, look at the countdown to our constitutional changes. My friend here is a lawyer. Mm-hmm. We have had a number of constitutional amendments since the British left. But for people of Northern Kenya, we say we got our independence in 2010 under the current constitution. At that particular time, there were 2 contending groups. The groups led by Mzee Raila wanted a pure parliamentary system. Mm-hmm. The other groups led by Mzee Kibaki wanted a pure presidential system. There emerged a third group who say, look, we want devolution. That is why we included devolution and equalization as part of our constitutional architecture. And today, the kind of resources that go to the counties actually is meant actually to bring about equity, transparency, and fairness actually in resource allocation. That has been achieved. Now, on the issue of the leaders, there are 2 things. Mm-hmm. Accountability is a must for every leader.
Yes.
And therefore, it's incumbent upon those critical constitutional institutions, like the Office of the Auditor General, the Office of the Controller of Budget, Parliament, and luckily, look at the structure. The framers of our current constitution actually were so generous to give us different competing but complementing institutions. Mm-hmm. That's why in our mindset we say we have 3 arms of government. Mm-hmm. In my mind, we don't have 3 arms of government. We have 3 traditional arms of government and a number of other emerging arms of government, like yourselves. Yeah. The members of the 4th estate is one critical emerging arms of government, because you can't rubbish your role today. Mm-hmm. You must inform, you must gather news. So what we are mixing is accountability and poor leadership. Mm-hmm. Accountability is a must. These critical institutions must hold all of us in public office to account. Mm-hmm. If you are governor, you must be held to account. If you are CS, you must be held to account. If you are an MP, you must be held to account. That is why you have elected to be a state officer. You have elected to be a public officer. Mm-hmm. So accountability doesn't take away your role simply because you come from a particular community or particular party. Yeah. The narrative being created right now, that these Northern Kenya, they don't. No, it's not true. That's the narrative. The same narrative that they're using actually to abuse the president is the same narrative now they're using to abuse the people, the leadership of Northern Kenya. And I want to challenge those with that mindset, colonial mindset. The Northern Kenya of yesterday is not the Northern Kenya of today. Things have changed. Things have changed. I remember a few years ago, some 40 years ago or 39 years ago, when I first come to the city here, you could hardly see somebody from my ethnic group. But today, simply because there are opportunities that enables every Kenyan. Yeah. Just like we used to say America is the land of opportunities, Kenya is the land of opportunities. Allow me to operate within the law to create a niche, a socio-economic, political niche that resonates very well with the national well-being of the Republic of Kenya, that does not hurt my neighbor, that does not offend my Kenyan colleague, but allows me a space to grow. That is the culture that we want, not these tribal-driven head campaigns. So for now, 2 things.
Yes.
To my colleagues from Northern Kenya, accountability is a must. Mm-hmm. We must be prepared to be held accountable. We must be prepared to use the resources allocated at different levels, prudently, efficiently, and for the good of the people that we represent.
Yeah.
But finally, people say they're staying in Nairobi. Nairobi is the capital center, is the administrative capital. Everybody here. I'm sure my friend here, ethnically, he comes from Nyanza.
I also stay in Nairobi.
Yes, ethnically, he comes from somewhere in Nyanza. Yeah. Yes. But here is his second home. Okay. I come from Northern Kenya. This is my second home. This is my workstation. Yes. I have offices here. I also have an office in the constituency. So for somebody to come and tag the governors, yes, they have offices in their respective counties. They have offices in Nairobi. So for somebody now to criminalize some of the things, my friend, you know it, border on xenophobia. You know the kind of things that have been promoted.
Yes,
so
yes.
please separate accountability and hatred towards particular individuals of certain ethnic groups.
I want to bring in Ambrose.
Yes.
Ambrose, we've had earlier. You alluded to the fact that in the country that we exist in, we have wananchi and we have politicians, and wananchi we love our politicians, right?
Yes.
But then there is the need to change how we play politics.
Yes.
All right. In the sense that we've given examples of how it is done in other jurisdictions, the US, and how the elections are. If you are wrong, you're being told it's wrong. If the economy is going down, wananchi will tell you it's wrong. We're looking at a situation where, for us as wananchi to stop the constant habit of complaining, that wananchi as well must chart the way forward with regard to the kind of politics that they want to see played, with regard to the change that they want to see happen on a daily basis. That for a very long time it has been left, wananchi have been at the periphery watching, but that right now is that time where wananchi will get into these spaces as well and say, in our region, because we belong from somewhere, in our region, where I come from, these are the issues that I want to see handled and addressed. If it's water, if it's agriculture, these are our issues. We need to see your plan. We need to see your policies. We need to see your agenda around these policies, because these are things that affect me directly. Why do I say that? Because someone from Northeastern will not have the same problems as someone from Mount Kenya. They're clearly distinct. Therefore, one would want to see a clearly spelled out policy that addresses things that affect you directly. As much as there is the national outlook, there are things that you want to see addressed. Is that, would one say that that kind of approach would be able to change the political scene and how Kenyans view politics?
Thank you so much. I still repeat, these innocent Kenyans you are talking about, the innocent, these leaders are all elected by the innocent Kenyans.
But then Kenyans, and I have said, right, that we have a problem with politics. Sawa, these innocent Kenyans have a problem with politics.
They say they have a problem with politics.
Right? And how it's being played. They want to see change. But Kenyans cannot say they want to see change if they are not part of the change themselves. Is it about time that wananchi themselves stop saying that we are looking at the periphery and get involved? Because for a very long time, politics is bad, is a dirty game. They have stayed away from it. Should they get in there and make changes from within other than staying outside?
First, politics is a very good game. There's politics on earth, there's politics in heaven. Because it's leadership. Leadership, even in heaven, there's God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And then the others. Down here, we yearn to produce our leaders through politics. Those who stay away from it are actually part of the bigger problem. Those who say, me, as we are young, we are Kenyans, we are professionals, we are religious, we are godly, we are heaven bound. Those are the problem. Because when things go wrong or they want to go wrong, take charge. Tell them, you people give me a chance to go and do 1, 2, 3. So, those who want to see good things in this country, number one, they have to take positions of leadership. Number two, they have to change the narrative. The ones you call politicians are very nice people. Very nice. They change the tune. What they want. They will change. When young people came and started making a bit of noise, say, hey, they change Gen Z. They change, oh, you want this. They change, they are not rigid, they are not incorrigible. They are very good. They are mind readers. So when they go for election, they just check, what do they want to hear? What do they love? The day you change the narrative and say, no. We're worried about this water. And this road. Whoever brings an agenda that looks clear to us, we'll go by that. They'll change. That fellow will come. But when you go and say, this clan has been there for too long. They have to leave. The other clan will come and say, now it is our time. Our clan has not led. That's how it is. This our tribe. For instance, if you approach the Luo nation, they'll tell you, the Kikuyus, and the Kalenjins have led this country for too long, the presidency. It is time for that presidency to move to Luo land or Luya land. Wacheni porojo na panganga jengine. That sells. We want power. That sells. So if somebody says tungojeni maneno ya power first, let's counter check whether the money given to the governor was used properly. They'll tell you, Bwana, those are small things. 80% of the money is up there. Power. Do you understand? So when the youth leader Oburu comes, he tells us what we want to hear. We want power. We are here because of power. So tell these innocent people you are talking about to set the exam. Let them set it. The leaders will pass. Let us say we want roads. We are not talking ourselves as Mulima or the lake. We want this done. We want this done. We want this economy. We want this level of growth. They will change the narrative. But if the narrative is not changed, you'll go to Lula and say, "Bwana, Kikuyu, wamekaa kwa hii kiti how many years? Our Kalenjin. Now it is our turn." Then you say, "Yeah, we hear you." That is it. So we look at it and we change. We set the exams. He said something about Northeastern. I happen to serve as the chancellor, the Anglican Diocese of Garissa. So I'm regularly there. I think if you ask me as Weda, I would tell you that the leadership of Northeastern collectively need our salutation. We need to salute their resilience. We need to say, this far you people have come. The Lord has been with you. We thank you. You know, here when you are sipping at cave and Java coffee and all the coffees that you are doing and you are discussing Mandera, you are talking nice. There, one voter is 1,000 kilometers away. A simple MCA requires choppers, not one MCA candidate. Leave alone MP, leave alone governor. Wajir is the size of how many countries?
Wajir is the size of the whole of Nairobi.
Yes.
Former Central.
Yes.
Western.
Yes.
Nyanza.
Yes.
Coast.
Yes.
Wajir is almost, I think, 50.
Half the country.
30,
Now, please understand that then the population are migratory. So that you can't call a rally in a corner and say, now, tuende mahali wako, tuwaongeleshe. Please. They are here. Let us, and then we closed them. I used to imagine that that place is so violent that anytime you leave Mwingi, you need aerial escort, all this escort, all of it. The only place, Wajir from Mwingi to Garissa is very far.
Yes.
But you can do 2 hours. Because if you are doing 120 kilometers per hour, you can drive for 2 hours without braking, constant, because of population, whatever. Then we just forgot about them. How they have reached Constitution 2010, please. Then even in our Constitution 2010, we said money comes according to population. The more you are, the more we give you. The less you are, that is another disadvantage.
But there is okay, sorry,
Yes,
I don't want to cut you short.
Yes.
But there's something on leadership,
Yes.
which I think we need to put it in perspective.
Yeah.
Yes.
As a country, we are part of the international political norm.
Discuss here.
Of course, right now we agree that there's total confusion in the international political arena.
Yes.
We do not have a structured mechanism of creating leaders.
Yes.
But we must also accept
Yes.
that we have different leaders.
Yes.
Politicians are not the only leaders.
Yes.
I'm not the only leader.
Yeah.
We have eminent business leaders.
Yes.
We have eminent media practitioners,
Yes.
highly well informed and highly respected. We have religious leaders. We have, call it, political leaders are just one of
Yes.
the many leaders actually now.
Part of the facets, yeah.
Yes. And then apportioning the entire responsibility of shaping opinion to political leaders actually is a fallacy. It's not true. It's It's not true. So what I will play my role as an elected leader. But leadership does not start and end with me. There are many other people who shape also the opinion. But there's one thing that we must face as a country.
Yes.
Over the years, we have been cultured to think of leadership just within our tribal or regional confines.
Yeah.
So it's like the leader that I see must be from my tribe. The leader that I see must be sharing the same name with me. The leader that I see must have the same dialects, must speak the same dialect with me. If we can create the Kenyan culture,
Yes.
the Kenyan language, this is one thing that has made many countries actually leap forward and develop. As we speak right now, we are struggling economically. We are struggling in terms of cohesion. I'm sure you know it because each one of us carries a tribal tag. But when it comes to blame game, it's like everybody retreats and say, it's not me, it is the politician. What is your role as a media practitioner? Have you been part of the journey to transform Kenya into a tribeless, one, united republic under the flag and the national interest? So I think these emerging issues, and that's why we have not developed. By the way, if you look at where we were in 1968, Kenya was a donor nation. Sometimes when this Singapore issue comes, it's like I see people make a lot of jokes about, it's a reality. You must dream first and then turn that dream into a reality. In 1968, the GDP of the Republic of Kenya was the same as that of South Korea, Indonesia, Malaysia, and many other countries. And by the way, Kenya sent technical officers, livestock officers, to the newly independent Botswana. Today, if you compare the state of the Kenya Meat Commission and the state of Botswana Meat Commission actually provides beef
To UAE.
to the entire Middle East and Europe. Where is our KMC? Struggle. Technically insolvent. The GDP of South Korea is 55 times that of Kenya. In 1968, you can find out. To was idea. Singapore, when they left Malaysia, it's like the head of the newly independent Singapore was not sure how to pay his public servants. What did he do? He said, no, we are not ready for independence. Wait, Malaysia, can you still be under your guidance? What did they do? They took measures, they put in place deliberate state-driven mechanisms that moved them from a struggling economy to now a first-class economy. This dream does not just come one day. I have a dream. That dream might take 100 years. It might take 15 years. It might take 20 years. In northern Kenya, we're already seeing that journey towards what? Singapore. And that Singapore, the people of northern Kenya actually look at the word, was down Kenya. Because a few years ago, a definition of a tarmac to a school-going child in Madeira was a black substance found in down Kenya. Now that down Kenya has been demystified. The black substance is now in their village. That is now their journey towards Singapore. And many other people are now moving to that journey to that non-Singapore. This is the reality of Kenya. And this is one thing that we must accept.
Yes, I think that is a good place to end the conversation, on a place where everybody must play ball for us to see the Kenya that we want. We can't leave it for the political class. Kenyans as well must get in their religious institutions to have a conversation and chart the way forward on what is the model of the Kenya we want to see. At exactly 7 a.m., Eden Canon is MP Elders and Canon Ambrose Weda, advocate and a political analyst. Asanteni. Some of the conversation continues.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.